Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us again for a virtual job fair. My name is Kyle Tweet, and I am the Communications and Outreach Coordinator for the Vermont Department of Labor. I'll be your moderator for today. We have some great employers with us. Again, we are highlighting employers and for featured career opportunities in the St. Johnsbury area. Again, today is Thursday, July 9th. So just as a kind of a top of housekeeping, items. Today's broadcast will be recorded. We'll be posting it onto the Department of Labor's YouTube channel. So if you at any point need to jump off and you miss an employer or an opportunity, or if you just want to go back and rewatch, definitely feel free. We'll be sending emails with more information about all of the positions and information that we talk about today. As a follow-up, if you attended today or if you had signed up previously, you'll be getting an email from us with the positions, just general information, as well as more information about jobs in the general St. Johnsbury area. So with that, I did just want to kind of talk through, we have with us today Sheila McLaughlin from Loaf. So Sheila, I guess without further ado, I guess I'll send it over to you if you want to unmute yourself and just kind of talk through who is Loaf, and kind of give us some more background. I'll pull up your video as well so that people can see you.
Okay. Great. So yes, I'm Sheila McLaughlin. I'm the Vice President of Human Resources at Loaf Corporation. We are an architecture and construction company located in Middlebury, Vermont. We've been in business for 52 years. We work throughout Vermont and throughout most of New England, except for Maine. Again, we're a construction company, but we also have architects on staff. So we do a lot of design build type of work where we design our own we build our own designs. We have roughly 75 employees split between our office and our field. And we have all types of positions. We have engineers, architects, project managers, and then administrative staff in the office, and then out in the field. We have our tradespeople that run from laborers, carpenter helpers, carpenters, foremen, up to superintendents. This actual job fair, we are looking specifically for tradespeople in the St. Johnsbury area. We have a project in downtown St. Johnsbury, the new Avenue building that we're renovating, and we're looking for quite a few skilled tradespeople and some laborers for that. So that's what we have available right now. Is there anything else that I need to?
No, that's great. I'm just going to pull up, I guess if you kind of want to talk, I mean, I don't know if you want to talk through some of the specific positions that you have available, just kind of in general, like what people can expect kind of, during an application process, how to apply, any of those kinds of things.
Sure. Yes, and I apologize that my coworker Ryan Ahern, who is the Director of Safety and Training, he actually is extremely involved in the hiring process. He was a superintendent for us, and so he has quite a bit of the knowledge of the field and the skills for the job, because he actually has performed the jobs, having worked in construction since he was 14 and he came up through the ranks. So I'm hoping he can call in at some point. But yeah, the way things work here at Loaf, I'm looking here at what you're asking, sort of, I guess I told you what our product is and our services, which is in this case construction. the workplace, Bread Loaf itself is a family-owned business. My father started it, and my brother now runs it, and I've been working here for 28 years. We have quite a few people in the business that have been here up to 40 years, and it's the culture is very family-oriented. We very much feel when people start with Bread Loaf, we want them to stay with us and grow. We really try not to have layoffs. We try to keep all our people busy and keep them with us for as long as possible. As far as hiring on, we do have a process where we meet with the candidate. They fill out an application. Ryan meets with them, usually on site, in this case on site in St. Johnsbury. And we love when people have resumes that they could bring into us, but if not, they will meet with Ryan, fill out an application. He walks people through their skill set. We do have if we were to make an offer to someone, we do have a pre-employment physical and drug screen that has to be performed. And clearly they have to pass both before they're eligible to be an employee. Once hired on, they're a temporary employee for 30 days while there is a probationary period for many reasons. One is to see if the skills that they claim they have are actually there. It also is time for the candidate to see if they like working for Bread Loaf, and it's a time for the superintendent to really get to know the employee and see if it's going to be a good fit for Bread Loaf. After 30 days, we offer a full-time employment with benefits, and our full benefits package, which is health and dental and vision, life insurance, long-term disability insurance, is a 401k plan with a match, paid vacation, paid holidays, and then other ancillary benefits. So that's pretty much the application process and how that works. What we are specifically looking for right now are tradespeople. And we do have a job description that Ryan gives out, and it tells you we do have a structure in our tradesperson position. We have a laborer who is basically a person that comes on with not as many skills, but somebody that has some construction experience. The tools that are required are not you don't need to have as many tools because the person hasn't been in the trades for as long. We do have tool requirements, and that's listed out in our job description. So we are hiring laborers. We do ask if people have any commercial construction experience. That said, a lot of our people have worked in residential construction, but as long as they have some construction experience, that's preferred. And we'll bring them on and we will train them as they come up through the ranks. We also have carpenter helper is the next position up, somebody with more experience, more tools, maybe more time on a commercial project, and then we work up to a carpenter, and the carpenter again has all the tools that we require and has been around construction for quite a while, again, whether it's residential but hopefully commercial construction. We have foremen and supers on staff, but right now for this project, we already have our management, our foremen and supers are already staffed from our own field people right now. Some of, Ryan could speak to the actual skills needed or preferred, but he likes to ask, is he on? I don't know if he's on the phone.
Ryan is here with us.
I'm here, Sheila.
Can you hear us?
Yes, yeah. Can everybody hear me? Is it clear?
Yes. Ryan, could I actually turn it over to you and have you talk about the skills that we're looking for, the actual skill set of a laborer or a helper and a carpenter?
Yeah, definitely. Good morning, everybody. I can't see everything, but I can hear you good. And currently, we have a lot of different skill requirement positions available. So I'll just start kind of at the beginning of where I started my career as a laborer. And I would say the critical skill sets you would need as a laborer would, number one, be attitude, as far as how you show up on the job. You don't need to bring a bunch of construction knowledge and information with you. It's really your attitude and the way you carry yourself on the job. So that's a position that you don't necessarily need a bunch of construction knowledge. You need the ability to physically do the work and like physical work, because it is a physical position. But then there's plenty of opportunities in an entry-level position, because if you have the correct opportunity or the correct attitude, and you want to learn and progress in your career, there's a lot of skilled individuals on site that always need help. So the entry, to get your foot in the door, it's the attitude, the way you show up, showing up on time, the base essentials of really any profession. Now from there, we have a rank that's kind of in between a laborer and a carpenter. It's a carpenter's helper type role, where then you are required base tools, essentially a pouch, some hand tools, your impact, screw guns, a level, not a ton of power equipment, but the basics so that you can then be asked to do some additional skill level work. Now, I always recommend laborers or carpenters helpers get the tools for the profession you want. So even though we require a carpenter's helper to maybe start with less tools, if you know how to use your equipment, you're going to be asked to do more and more advanced in different types of projects. So those are kind of like the entry-level positions that don't take a ton of background knowledge, but are really based on physical ability, meaning you don't mind to sweat a little bit, maybe get a little bit dirty. You like to be outside, you enjoy the sunshine, that sort of stuff. You know how to dress in the wintertime. So those are the basic entry-level type pieces. Now, carpenter's helpers, you need to know some math. You need to know some general safety of construction projects. And we offer all internal training as far as OSHA 10, OSHA 30, that type of stuff. And then we'd be sending you through a whole orientation process where you would learn how to function on a job site safely with the rest of your team. In both those roles, you generally report to either a carpenter if it's a small crew. Maybe there'd be 2 or 3 laborers or 2 or 3 carpenters helpers working with a carpenter. So we break them up into smaller teams that all have their own little crews. So then if you wanted to progress past carpenter's helper, a carpenter's rank is essentially someone that reads some basic drawings, take direction, understand what they're working on, the materials, the base quality of what we expect, how to operate safely, independently without someone looking over your shoulder. And it's a bit more of an independent role where you can take on your own projects. And I could go on for days about the type of projects we do. We do everything. And I'm just speaking about our internal labor force, not subcontractors. We do everything from digging ditches in basements through high quality, high-end crown molding, anything to do with woodwork, finish, framing, trim, any of that stuff. We don't do a ton of drywall. We don't do roofing. We don't do metal studs, that sort of stuff. And really what it comes down to is we need, for wood framing, for instance, we need a large wood framing crew. Some of our crews are up to 30 people as far as woodworkers on any one project. And currently in the state of Vermont, there's not a lot of contractors that do that. So we try to keep professionals in our company at all levels, from laborer through carpenter. Additionally, we have crew chief professions, and I'm not sure if you want me to go into detail on that sort of stuff, or if we're talking more entry-level career fair here. I'm not sure what the spectrum is, but I'll just, kind of gloss over it briefly. Crew chief is really someone that can kind of maintain equipment, their tools, their material for 2 to 5 people. They have a small team of helpers that would be working with them, but then there's additional responsibility of planning, thinking, maybe problem solving, looking through drawings, coming up with a rough idea what they're going to be doing a week out, 2 weeks out. It's the ability to look ahead at challenges. After that, there's a foreman position. Foremans need to be able to have very good communication skills, excellent organization skills. They would need to be extremely proficient at drawing, plan reading, and then also formulating questions with that plan reading. So developing questions that can solve the problems. And a foreman is really a proactive team member that is solving problems ahead of time for the superintendent. Foreman would be reporting to the superintendent. And once you get to superintendent level, that is overseeing every piece of that project, including electrical, mechanical, site work, concrete. That's a whole nother level of planning and thinking, and that's someone that can look ahead with their magic ball like 6 months in advance and know what's coming. And obviously in construction, things change, weather changes, but it's someone that's well-versed in all areas of construction. Not necessarily someone that can wire up a building or put a boiler in, but they can talk with the mechanic or the electrician, figure it out, problem solve, and really be a bodyguard for our client. Keep them safe, secure, job on track, everyone safe on the job site, schedule moving forward. There are kind of lead people out in the field outside of the office, and so, that's essentially the basis of our field team dynamics. And my opinion on entry-level people, we want to train from within. You can see, through this industry, there's a lot of young people entering right now. So, what Bread Loaf is doing is we're trying to create a vision for these individuals that are coming on board and give them some sort of pathway. So if they're coming to us straight out of a tech school or straight out of high school, we want to give them some goals, or listen to their goals, have an understanding of where they want to go, and then try to create a pathway and put them in a team where they're going to reach those goals. So we've done, on-site trainings. This could consist of this room with, we build these little sheds. We take tests, we assign homework. It's a very formal kind of weekly training. This COVID-19 stuff has changed that a bit. We can't gather in groups anymore, but most of our employees have been here a long time, and many of them have worked their way through the ranks. So it's something we want to continue doing, and it definitely adds a new challenge to construction, because then you really have a school on each of your large projects. But we see it as a huge benefit, both as how to develop the team internally, and then long-term future for the company. We're going to recruit these young folks to be top players in this business. So to me, it's a good business move for us and for the employee. And I really enjoy doing it. That's one of my biggest, or my favorite parts of the job, is the development of the young people coming into the business. Me personally, I got some huge opportunities, both internships with companies, paid internships and non, and that's something that we really are trying to fill the spots on. Individuals that are motivated, that just need an opportunity, some training, and some guidance. And I got that when I was younger, so it's kind of, I'm at a point now where I'm looking to do that for other young people coming in. So that's kind of my spiel. What else could I go into?
Yeah.
What else?
That was fantastic. Thank you, Ryan and Sheila, for providing that as a background. I think that's a great way of kind of framing things up, and I think we can definitely convey that, you guys are excited about bringing new people on. I did see one of the questions, I guess, Ryan, you were talking about a couple different positions, and before we transition over to our other employer, I did want to ask just about like the pay range, depending on for the types of positions that you guys are hiring for, and then any other technical. That was a direct question that we got in the chat, was about the pay scale and the range. So, and anything else you wanted to add to? I know Sheila talked about benefits, but.
Yeah, I mean, pay scale ranges significantly based on skill set. So, I mean, it's such a wide range. Also, locations. I mean, we have projects in 3 different states right now. So, if I start throwing numbers out, I don't know if it's really beneficial to the people listening. Because, for instance, our St. Johnsbury project is it's a Davis-Bacon set wages. So, Sheila, do you want to speak on that? I don't want to start throwing numbers out.
Yeah, well, that's, and again, that is always a little bit of it is very much commensurate with your skill set. I will say, probably the lowest range that we have is $15 an hour, labor, and then it ranges all the way up through foreman, and you get into more of the 20 plus type of per hour. Now, and then obviously there's a lot of things that come into play with that. One of the things that we often hear, and I often try to explain to people coming in, our pay rates are usually often lower than residential hourly. And that is because a lot of the residential candidates do not get benefits. Our benefits package is worth roughly per year $8,000. So you have to. Oh, and one of the things I forgot to mention as well is we pay travel to employees that travel further than 30 miles from their home. We pay travel, and then if we do have a project that's further than about an hour and a half from somebody's home, we put them up in a hotel and we pay meals and travel. That's another benefit. But so the range, I mean, people have to take into consideration, the retirement plan, the health plan, that works into the hourly rate at the end of the day.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I think now we can probably transition. I appreciate you both, Ryan and Sheila, for taking some time. I will say we had a couple questions there, but we'll circle back to you guys with some general questions at the end, okay, in case we get any from any of the job seekers attending as well. But now I would like to transition over to our other employer, the Home Depot, and I believe we have Robyn on the phone as well. Robyn Lavoie from the Home Depot, and you guys are based in Littleton, New Hampshire, I believe. Robyn, I guess I'll turn it over to you if you want to just provide some background on the Home Depot and everything that you guys have going on.
Thank you very much. So I am in the Littleton Home Depot, and we've been in business since 1979. We established ourselves in Atlanta, Georgia, and we've grown significantly from there. Most states have more than one Home Depot, as you can see. In New Hampshire, I believe we have one from Manchester right on up. This one being Littleton being the furthest one that we have in New Hampshire. But we have one in North Conway, our next one, and then there's also one in Tilton. So right up 93, you can usually come off and find a Home Depot. So what we're looking for employees is we have anyone from being a law associate right up through to being a department head. Right now we're actually looking for an outside department head for our pro desk. So you can start from anywhere from being a law associate and going right up the chain as far as you want. We are open every day except for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So you will be working basically Monday through Sunday straight on through. We open our doors at 6 a.m. It doesn't mean that you don't come in before that. We have actually some associates that come in at 5 o'clock in the morning to get the store ready for all the customers to come in. And you could be here all night. We also have a nighttime crew that does our freight. So we have a Monday through Friday crew that comes in at anywhere from 7 o'clock at night, and they work till 11, or we have another crew that comes in at 9 p.m. and works till 5:30 in the morning to make sure that the product is ready for the customers. We have department heads that positions. We have department positions from construction or lumber and building materials. We have product positions. We have cashier, lot, plumbing. If you're a plumber, we are looking for you. Electricians, we're looking for you too. Flooring, definitely. We have appliances here. We have anything. We can cater our business around most people. I can tell you that with our we do have a background check that we do for all applicants, and we are a drug-free environment. So that's the first thing we do is we do drug test our applicants. Once they get past the application process, they come in and they actually sit down with one of our managers, and they go through a various amounts of questions to ask, and then they turn that person over to me, and then we sit there and we talk about a few more things, like what their schedule availability is and how I can cater to them, but also to cater to the Home Depot needs for all departments that you're coming to. We start our process of pay rate. We start at $12.50 an hour. And when you get hired in, you're actually a temp. You're a part-time temp for 120 days. So that gives you the opportunity to show the Home Depot and show yourself that you really want to be here. So being a part-time temp for 120 days, if it's not your cup of tea, basically, because being at the Home Depot, you're constantly going from the time you get in the door, and it's customer service, it's taking care of your department, it's being there for yourself, the customer, and the store all at the same time. And sometimes people, even though they come here shopping and then they decide to get a job here, sometimes they're like, wow, it's not the same as being a customer. So that we give you that 120 days opportunity for you to either say, wow, this is what I want to do, or, this isn't really for me. So it's no hard feelings. Neither team feels bad about the breakup, basically. Let's see. We hire what we call authors kits. We have a program called Authors Kits, and what Authors Kits is it's people with disabilities. We hire each store is allowed X amount, and we hire them. They either do lod or they water plants, and we just give them the opportunity to come in. So if you're disabled, don't feel that you can't come to the Home Depot. We try and cater so that we can make a decision for you that will work for you and for the Home Depot, and that way there you can get that vast knowledge of being a part of a corporation that cares. Let's see what else. We have positions. Well, right now we have positions usually for kitchen design, but we already have the position for that. But if you're looking for a department supervisor, lot, cashier, customer service, deliveries is basically getting the product ready for the truck to come pick it up and bring it to your customer. We're also looking for freight, which is nighttime. We are looking for associates to just help out in each department. If you're a retired electrician and you want to come work at the Home Depot for a little bit, we need you. Come on in. Same thing with plumbing. Like I said, our pay rate's at a certain position. We don't have the program anymore of where if you were that licensed person, but it doesn't mean that we don't try and give you the opportunity of showing us that, this is what I could do for you. We're always looking for that person to come in and go, I used to be an electrician, I just retired, but I don't want to be home anymore. I want to be out and seeing the people. So that would be, come on in, go on to thehomedepot.com, go into careers, at the bottom of the page on the homedepot.com, you'll see the word careers. Click on that, and then it'll have you sign in, and you'll create a sign in, and then you'll create a password. Just remember, when you create those two things, please remember them, because at any time a rec's not open and you actually call up and say, hey, Robyn, I put an application a week ago, but no one's called me. You might have attached yourself to the wrong rec. So what I always tell you to do is go back on, and these are the places you need to go under, either page or electrical, and then you'll automatically download into my system for me to reach out to you, and get you in for an interview. The interview process is pretty straightforward. You come in, it's about a half an hour. You come in and you answer some questions, like I said, with the manager, and then when you get past that, you come and see me, and what I recommend that you bring with you, even when you're just coming in for the interview, please make sure that you have your photo ID, your government photo ID, your birth certificate, and your social security card. So those are the key things that as soon as you're done the application process, and we have said, yes, we'd like to hire you, I automatically get you right in and do that. Then once you sit down with me, then we go ahead and we do the drug testing, and we do a background check. And once all that comes back, you come in and do your orientation, and you're ready to go. Our orientation process is a couple days worth. You sit in front of a computer, and you do some training there. It's some virtual, like we are right now, having a virtual world. You do some virtual training. I also have some hands-on that I do with you. And then once you get past those points, then we pass you off to a coach. Each department and each category has a coach. So you go spend some time with your coach, and they walk you through some more paperwork to make sure that, you're understanding the Home Depot, and you're not feeling like you're just thrown out to the wolves. We want to make sure that you're here for a long haul and that we're here for you. So we have the coaches that help you with that. And it's a lot of team effort here at the Home Depot. We always look for people to work with others, and if there's any department that you first start off with, so say if you got hired in paint because you thought paint would be great, and then you get out there and you're realizing that paint is too much demanding or overwhelming stuff for you as an associate, I always recommend come see Robyn, because just because you started in one department doesn't mean we can't move you somewhere else. I've had a few people that come in that got hired for hardware thinking, tools would be cool to sell, and then realize that more and more people ask about tools than you have the knowledge for it. So I end up moving them to different departments. So whenever you start with one department doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to be, stuck in that department for the rest of your career. You can move. You can move most of the time, anytime you have a chance. Technically, you have supposed to wait 6 months, but right now with what's going on in the world and more and more people, being pushed out of their original careers and finding, different opportunities, we try to make sure that the opportunities that you're selecting fit both you and us. Is there any questions that you have for me?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. Thank you so much, Robyn, for taking the time to go through that. I don't think I have any questions specifically for you, but I would, of course, I do have just some general questions that I thought I would ask to you all as the group, and of course we can take questions from anybody that's listening as well. I think the biggest question that I kind of wanted to ask to you both, and I guess Sheila, maybe I'll start with you, and of course, and I think it probably would be, I think between Sheila and Robyn we can answer these questions. But Sheila, I'll start with you just regarding, of course, Robyn mentioned it with, the situation around COVID-19, and I guess what, how has that impacted you all, especially from an HR side, and what steps kind of have you guys taken in, preparation? Did you guys have to go through a stoppage of work, and kind of what, what has the process been, and what circumstances have kind of arisen for you all, as a result of COVID?
Sure. Yes, and the first thing is, yes, we had a stoppage of work. March 25th will be forever etched in my mind. We closed down every single one of our job sites but one. We laid off our field staff. Some were furloughed, some were laid off. It just, and the office stayed home. It was very, as with everyone in the country, it was very detrimental. So luckily, when the governor started opening the economy again, we were able to restart our jobs. In the interim, we were ready. We trained all of our entire staff went through a VOSHA training that the state provided for COVID for safety. We also created our own, through the AGC, the Association of General Contractors, and Vermont specifically, we created a COVID plan for our company specifically. And then also the office and the field have separate plans, although there's an umbrella plan for safety, because of course the office and the field are very different work environments. I have to say that safety is our #1 priority, specifically in the field. And so we had a lot of protocols in place already, but COVID actually, a silver lining is it enabled us to become even more safe in the field. We have a safety plan, we have a COVID plan, we have out in the field, we have checkpoints. We do not let anyone on the site until they've passed. We have a safety resource officer on each job site, and every single person that comes onto the job site has to check in with them. They cannot go through the gates until they've taken a questionnaire asking about whether there's a questionnaire that everyone has to take, even in the office. And this is again part of the opening plan, talking about their health and if they've had COVID. And so they're not allowed on site if they've been sick. When on site, we have social distancing. They have to wear masks. We have, as Ryan has said in the past, now we have sinks on every job site, which is awesome, and wash stations and disinfectant and everything. So it's we are beyond safe now on our sites, and it's the same in the office. We have to wear masks, and we have a plan, and so we are very aware, and I am every week on the Department of Labor and the Health Department and reading on all the changes. So we're keeping up with all the changes that are required, and we have rehired back our staff, so that has been amazing, and we're looking for more people, which is why we're here. We're looking for even more people out in the field. So I hope that answers your question.
No, that's perfect. I think that provides a great insight for folks that are potentially looking to apply, and just kind of talking through the importance of safety, I think, is important for you guys as well. So thank you for emphasizing that. So with the Home Depot, Robyn, I guess the same question would go for you guys. I'm sure it was, vastly, maybe could be, I'm sure there were very similar instances, but I'm sure there were things that changed for you guys and have changed dramatically with the Home Depot. I can speak for myself, having visited a Home Depot in the last month or so, and my experience was very different from how it was before. But I guess purely from an employee standpoint, Robyn, I guess if you could talk to kind of the changes that you guys have encountered, and kind of talking to any protocols that you guys haven't started to change as a result of COVID.
Yeah, actually, from the time that COVID has hit, the Home Depot has made vast changes. I mean, we've always been in, make sure our stations and everything were always clean and ready for customers. But now that the COVID hit, we wear our masks from the time that we enter the door. Some of us wear them before we leave our car. So it's from leaving your car to getting back to your car, you have your mask on. All associates have to wear them. Like I said, the whole time that we're here, the only time we get to remove them is to eat our lunch. But we all carry hand sanitizers in our aprons at all times. There's hand sanitizers at every station. When you first come into the Home Depot, only about 2 weeks ago we stopped them, but as soon as COVID hit, it was one way in, one way out at the Home Depot. There was always someone at the door spraying down all of the carts from head to toe with special spray that we have, these little pink tablets that we have to put in water, and it's made just to disinfect everything. So we have that, but every station gets cleaned. As soon as we walk in the morning, we clean. And then we have every 2 hours we go around and we clean the phones and wherever our workstation is. If customers, once customer leaves our station, whatever the station is, again, we go right behind the customer and we wipe it down to make sure that we're not contributing to pass on any of this COVID that's going on. Outside that, we've been open, like I said, from day one because we are considered that type of company that we need to be here for emergency personnel. So we didn't close our doors, but we did make a fast change. We started counting customers, how many customers were in our place at all times. If you come in shopping at the Home Depot, you'll notice that all of the main cash registers, service desk, products, even the paint department and wherever there's associates having interaction with customers, you'll see there's glass panels that are up everywhere. It's to protect us and you from interaction and make sure that we don't, pass anything on. Because not every customer that comes shopping wears their mask. So we want to make sure that we're helping to prevent the spread of it for those who do not choose to wear them. So we do, like I said, we have everywhere throughout the store. You come in and it's like being in a bank sometimes. It's like, wow. But we do have these big metal frames all around with plexiglass to barricade the spread. And then we wash those down, like you said, every time we turn around. When someone leaves, we go behind them and we try and make sure we wash everything down so that we help prevent the spread. And when people come in for applications, to come in for an interview, that's the first thing when our tax company reaches out to them. They remind them to go ahead and wear a mask when you're coming in for your interview. And if you happen to show up without one, we have them readily available to hand them to you and ask you to please put them on. So that way we're keeping, again, our environment sanitized.
Fantastic. Robyn, I did have a question for you that came in from one of our job seekers. Looks like asking more about advancement. And the question is, what are the chances for moving up? For instance, if someone starts as a lot associate and they want to work their way up. I believe that was in reference to you guys with the Home Depot. Sheila, I'll come back to you guys too, talking about advancement, but in terms of Robyn, I guess if you want to talk through Home Depot and kind of the process for how people, coming in as an entry-level employee and kind of starting that process for moving up.
Actually, with the history of the Home Depot is when you come in, most of our corporate office people that are in Atlanta actually started as law associates. We have a lot. I even have an asset protection person that I worked with in the Hooks at Home Depot. He started in our company 20-something years ago as a law associate. Now he's on the corporate side. He's actually one of our corporate loss prevention and asset protection operations manager out in the district. So yeah, you can actually, like I said, at the Home Depot, you can go basically anywhere. You can start as a law associate or a cashier, and you can advance. It's about 6 months before you be with the Home Depot. You have to be a true employee of the Home Depot. What I mean about a true employee is once you're 120 days and you're no longer a temp and you get hired as a part-time or a full-time regular associate, from that day 6 months later is usually when you can start applying for either department heads or anything other than just a regular associate. And then you go through the process again of going in for an interview for whatever department head or whatever you're looking for, to go through the interview process. But you can go anywhere from being here on ground level, if you want to call it that. You could go all the way to Atlanta, Georgia, where our district office is. There's also our distribution centers in Massachusetts. You could go work there. There's not just inside the Home Depot, there's exterior Home Depot jobs also. But yeah, it's usually anywhere after 6 months that you're with the company, you can start exploring the higher up positions.
That's great. Thank you, Robyn. Sheila, I think Ryan actually talked about a lot of that, with the different positions that you guys have.
Right.
I guess I would ask Sheila, if someone's looking to apply, what's the best process? Is it reaching out to you and Ryan, or I know us with the Department of Labor, I know we have some instructions on our website for how to apply as well, but just looking if you could kind of summarize with that, specifically with some of the positions that Ryan and yourself were talking about a little bit ago.
Sure. Yes, you can go onto our website and we have a careers page and you can apply on the website. But Ryan and I are also not, we have no problem sharing our email and having people send a resume or fill out an application and send it, PDF it directly to us. And I don't mind sharing our email addresses. You can find them online. And Ryan, we have many ways to apply. You can also go to the job site in St. Johnsbury. Our superintendent has applications on site and he sends them down to Ryan and to me. Ryan goes up at least once or twice a week to the New Avenue job site specifically to interview people and meet with them on site. So there are various ways to apply to our company. Does that help?
Yeah, sorry, I was.
Okay.
I forgot I had muted myself. That's
Right.
the thing now, right? Like you forget to mute yourself.
Exactly.
Anyway, I guess just as we, feel free to, anybody who's attending, please feel free to post any additional questions. But I guess, as we kind of wind down here, I would just kind of like to ask you both, and maybe Robyn can start with you. Any final thoughts that you might have? For anybody who's thinking about applying, with your respective companies, both for Sheila and Robyn, but Robyn, I'll have you go first. You drew the short straw, I guess. I'll have you jump in first. Thinking about applying with the Home Depot, what would you suggest? Is there any skill in particular that you're looking for in applying? Just kind of thinking about, if I'm on the fence about it, what would you say to somebody like me that's thinking about applying?
Have a happy attitude. I would say remember it's retail and not all customers are in the best of moods. So just remember that when you're applying at the Home Depot, it is retail. Don't take things personal when people come at you in the wrong way. Always have a positive attitude and know that you are a team here, you're a family, and we'll take care of you. I would say, and just make sure that you don't think you have a physical disability to be here. If you can't lift 25 pounds or more, doesn't mean that you can't apply at the Home Depot. That's why we have team lift. People are around to help. Just make sure that when you apply that there is, you have to do it on the HomeDepot.com. There is an application process, but there's also an assessment that you need to click on. Most people that apply see the word assessment, but never click on the box. So make sure when you are applying, you do your general information, and then you need to click on the assessment, take the assessment, and then once that goes through and you are attached to a rec that I have open, corporate office go ahead and set up a date with for our store, going with what I have for openings for times and slots and dates. Then we'll get you in for a date for that, and then you just arrive at the Home Depot again. Make sure that you are dressed in proper attire for an interview. If you have a resume, we love to see those also, but not necessary. You don't have to have one. Just make sure that you do come in wearing a mask. And what you'll do is you'll sign in at the service desk, let them know that you're here and what your time of your scheduled appointment is. They'll call back to myself or one of the managers to let me know that you are here and that you're here for an interview. And usually I'll have your packet already ready for a manager to come and grab your packet, and they'll sit down for half an hour and ask you some questions and stuff. And then they'll also kind of like probe into what you're available. But remember, when you're also applying to get better, faster onto our recs, is we do require a weekend, at least one full flex. And full flex weekend means that you're available from 6 a.m. till 9 a.m. at night. Again, you have to pick one weekend day, because if you just put in that you're only available Monday through Friday at noontime till 4, you're really not going to make it to any of my recs, because whenever we put out our application requisitions, we always put in we need Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and we need you to please put in for one weekend day, and that'll get you quicker onto the application pool.
Fantastic. Thank you, Robyn. And Sheila, I guess same question for you. Thank you for you. Or thank you for you. Same question for you, Sheila. I guess, for anybody that's thinking about applying, with Bread Loaf, anything that you might want to say to them.
Sure. I actually, I think I'll let Ryan take this if he's still on the line.
Do we still have Ryan Kinsley?
Yep, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Ryan, what do you want to say for anyone that wants to apply?
I would say my email is the best bet. If they could shoot me an email, I'm not going to pressure people that are entry level. If you're coming out of high school, if you don't have a huge background in construction, you do not have to send me a resume with your retail experience or anything like that. If it's entry level, shoot me an email with your contact info. That's probably the best bet. So email, and I don't know if you can see any of this on the presentation, but if you want to take my email down, I'll say it and I'll spell it. It's rahern@breadloaf.com, and that's RAHERN at Breadloaf, which is BREADLOAF.com, and that's probably the best bet. And then I'm on the road all the time, so once we connect, I'll give you my cell phone and we can text back and forth to narrow it in. But generally speaking, we if you get in touch with me, we do some talking over the phone, and then we set something up. And right now, I will be in St. Johnsbury tomorrow, and it's usually Fridays that I'm doing interviews on site, but I also make different appearances there for other stuff. So I'm all over the place throughout the state doing different interviews. So I think that's probably the best way to get me by email. Then I'll give you my cell and we can connect that way.
That's perfect. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate you taking that taking the time to explain that. And we'll provide the emails for you both, for Sheila and Ryan, and contact information as well for the Home Depot as well, in our follow-up email for everyone that's attending today. As well as for those who may have missed this session as well. So in our follow-up email, we'll provide your email addresses in case folks want to reach out directly, as well as the job descriptions and information that you talked about that were included on the one sheets that we put together ahead of this conversation as well. So I guess with that, I want to thank everybody for joining us today, Sheila, and a special thanks to Sheila and Ryan and Robyn, for taking the time. We definitely we with the Department of Labor are definitely excited to be able to share the opportunities that you all have with those in the St. Johnsbury area and really across the state and, dare I say, the world with the internet and how everything we have today. So I guess that's the nice thing about sharing this. As I said at the top, this broadcast, this job fair has been recorded, so we'll be sharing that on our Department of Labor YouTube channel as well as through our social media accounts. You can look out for more information from Sheila and Ryan and Robyn with their respective positions in the follow-up emails, as well as posts about both Bread Loaf and the Home Depot on our Department of Labor Facebook page and other social media accounts. So with that, I guess thank you to everybody for taking the time this afternoon. Or I should say, yep, this afternoon now, just checking the time just to make sure. And with that, I hope everybody has a great rest of their week and a great weekend as well. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Have a great day, everybody.
Yeah. Bye.